How to manage local versus production settings in Django. What is the recommended way of handling settings for local development and the production server? Some of them, like constants, etc., can be changed, accessed in both, but some of them, like paths to static files, need to remain different and hence should not be overwritten every time the new code is deployed. Currently, I am adding all constants to settings.py. But every time I change some constant locally, I have to copy it to the production server and edit the file for production-specific changes, sad smiley. Edit, looks like there is no standard answer to this question. I've accepted the most popular method.
I use a slightly modified version of the if debug style of settings that Harper shall be posted. Obviously, depending on the environment, Wint, Linux, etc., the code might need to be tweaked a bit. I was in the past using the if debug, but I found that occasionally I needed to do testing with doib set to false. What I really wanted to distinguish if the environment was production or development, which gave me the freedom to choose the debug level. I'd still consider this way of settings a work in progress. I haven't seen any one way to handling Django settings that covered all the bases and at the same time wasn't a total hassle to set up. I'm not down with the 5x settings files methods.
In settings.py, you can override what needed in local_settings.py. It should stay out of your version control then. But since you mentioned copying, I'm guessing you use none, winky face.
Instead of settings.py, use this layout. Common.py is where most of your configuration lives. Prod.py imports everything from common, and overrides whatever it needs to override. Similarly, dev.py imports everything from common.py and overrides whatever it needs to override. Finally, __init___.py is where you decide which settings to load, and it's also where you store secrets, and therefore this file should not be versioned. What I like about this solution is everything is in your versioning system, except secrets. Most configuration is in one place, common.py. Prod-specific things go in prod.py, dev-specific things go in dev.py. It's simple. You can override stuff from common.py in prod.py or dev.py, and you can override anything in __init__.py. It's straightforward Python. No re-import hacks.
Two scoops of Django. Best practices for Django 1.5 suggests using version control for your settings files and storing the files in a separate directory. The base.py file contains common settings, such as media_root or admin, while local.py and production.py have site-specific settings. In the base file settings, base.py. In the local development settings file settings, local.py. In the file production settings file settings, production.py. Then when you run Django, you add the settings option. The authors of the book have also put up a sample project layout template on GitHub.
Force Ultra, Quirky,